Now, with the Tales of the Empire trailer, the possibility of Darth Vader making a cameo in The Bad Batch has increased exponentially. What better way to lead on to the Tales of the Empire appearance where he will essentially train the Inquisitors together with Barriss Offee? You guessed it. It's still not believable that Barriss Offee will finally have a storyline in this new Star Wars canon, because sadly, after she was arrested, we never got anything, not even a hint, until now that we see her. But the thing is that this is how content creation is made. Dave Filoni knows this pretty well, and he knows that for the impact of Darth Vader to be there in Tales of the Empire, we need a glimpse, a hint of him during The Bad Batch. Now, whether that is in the finale where he appears, or whether that be in the post-credit scene, because I do believe that in the final scene, in the final episode of The Bad Batch, when it ends this season, during the credits, there will be something resembling a post-credit scene where Darth Vader might be there, possibly even Commander Cody, now that we haven't heard from him at all. Or it could be Rex reuniting with Wolf, because we haven't heard from Wolf either. Either way, Darth Vader's chances of him making a cameo in The Bad Batch have increased exponentially, as I said earlier, and if he actually appears in the finale, this could also mean that he will meet up with Captain Rex. Now, we have discussed a possible meeting between Captain Rex and Darth Vader, where Captain Rex, I think it will be a tragedy if he goes on his entire life never actually learning the true identity of his former General Anakin Skywalker, that he has now joined the faction that Rex hates the most, and that is the Empire. He is actually actively fighting against the Empire, as we see in The Bad Batch. Not only has he joined the Empire, he has become a Sith Lord. He not only betrayed the Republic, he betrayed the Jedi Order too. And all of his memories of his dead brothers dying for the Republic, of Ahsoka, his close friend, eluding the Empire, escaping to save her own life, will come flooding back to Captain Rex once he learns this. But if Ahsoka and Luke were prime candidates to actually talk to Darth Vader face to face and perhaps bring the inner light in him, I think that the third or fourth most candidate I would love for Darth Vader to have a conversation with is, of course, Captain Rex. As a matter of fact, he was closest with him. War breeds unmeasurable brotherhood and friendship. Darth Vader has not forgotten this. I don't believe so. And if they converse, there is a particular story that I would love for it to be shown and seen. Once again, this specific story happens during the Clone Wars, and I think Rex should actually mention this to Darth Vader. And in this issue, in the Battle of Harain, Captain Rex desperately needs Anakin to come to the rescue. For those of you who are always interested in reading more comics, and I suggest you do so always after watching these videos, this is Star Wars Adventures issue number 19, where we see Captain Rex battling on the Battle of Harain on the Centauri system, and the Separatist forces are moving forward without hesitation. What is more unfortunate, they had Captain Rex pinned down. He had nowhere to move, nowhere to hide, and nowhere to go. The tanks were moving forward together with a battalion of B-1 battle droids. Now Rex desperately searched for General Skywalker to come in the comlinks. He was in urgent need of assistance, and he was hemmed down by clankers on all sides. To make matters even worse, two droidicas now traveled to the location where Captain Rex was hiding at. This is where tragedy struck, because Captain Rex could no longer hold his ground. The Separatist forces were moving in, inching closer and closer to victory. If the Jedi did not make it through, then the clones and Captain Rex together would be wiped out and unfortunately not prevail in this battle. As Captain Rex said it best, he could definitely use a hand at this moment, and that's what he got. Obi-Wan jumped out of nowhere, and of course with his beautiful trolling self, he said to Captain Rex that he only needs to ask for help and Obi-Wan will be there. Rex, of course, was shocked to see General Kenobi. He was expecting Anakin, but Obi-Wan told him that Anakin is having a few problems with a few vulture droids back on a different part of the battle. That's the reason why he was in delay and couldn't help Captain Rex. Sarcastically, of course, he joked around that Captain Rex will have to do only with Obi-Wan as of right now. But for Captain Rex, it was the opposite. It was an honor to serve with Obi-Wan Kenobi again. This was a rare occurrence since, as we all know, Obi-Wan usually served with Commander Cody. Basically, Commander Cody was Obi-Wan's main enforcer and the duo team, Obi-Wan and Cody, and Anakin and Rex. And it's a beautiful moment shown here in the comics. These are the type of things that I love to see and pause for a little bit, maybe even appreciate. You guys need to understand that these type of rivalries destroyed empires and destroyed alliances. If Captain Rex felt indifferent toward Obi-Wan at this moment, then the Republic Army would not be so successful. It is the egoless nature of the clones and the Jedi that actually prevailed in the Clone Wars. Them treating each other like brothers no matter what, there was no rivalry and there was no resentment toward one another. This is what ultimately led them to victory. It was Jedi like Pong Krell and Quinlan Vos who ultimately hated the clones or felt indifferent toward them. They were always seen as outcasts. Otherwise, Plo Koon, Obi-Wan, Anakin, all these Jedi were seen as heroes not only of the Republic but of the Clone Army as well. The clones loved these Jedi basically. Now Obi-Wan was preoccupied with another thing. They needed to move to the evacuation point as quickly as possible. But he wondered, how did Rex get into this mess in the first place, since none of his battalion or clone brothers were in the vicinity? He was left here alone to fend for himself. And that's when Captain Rex explained to Obi-Wan that he found a gang of Horian kids that were holed up in a crater. Those poor little younglings, those children were completely terrified of the war, and this is where Captain Rex came to the rescue. As we see here in the comic panel, it shows a heroic Captain Rex moving together with the children in order to save them from the separatist droids who ultimately feel nothing if everything and everyone is destroyed, unlike the clones who had human tendencies. As always, you have to be proud of how Captain Rex handles himself and what he does to be rightful in battle, to be the good person even though it might cost him his life. This ultimately shows the tendencies that Captain Rex shared with Anakin as well. They both had the same mind. While Cody and Obi-Wan were more tactful, Anakin, as he is seen multiple times in the Clone Wars series and even in the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, when he wants to deviate from the plans and go rescue clones, Captain Rex can be seen here having the same ideology as Anakin. He left the mid-battle to go save children. He would risk his life only to do the right thing. And this is where we move to a more expanding topic about Captain Rex and Anakin and their shared friendship. They found themselves in these so-called Clone Wars. Now, granted, they didn't start right off the bat with care and affection. That takes time, of course, but day after day, Anakin grew to appreciate the young clone. Rex was fearless. His skill was unmatched, and that was seen by all. He responded instantly with his blaster to the appearance of a Rishi eel on the Rishi moon, killing the predator with a single shot to the eye. What Rex excelled at was recognizing the danger of hesitating in battle. Even for a split second, Rex was always aware, and he eliminated all the enemies in his path before they could gain the upper hand. That was key for him. As Anakin noted during the Battle of Christophsis, Rex took down his enemy without even having to think about his maneuvers. The same can be said about how Rex felt about Anakin. Rex looked at the young Jedi with awe. They had an immense amount of respect for each other. Nearly 20 years later, when the Ghost crew met Rex on the Rebels series, he was still praising Anakin, claiming that he was one of the greatest Jedi and generals that he ever knew. In my opinion, I don't think their relationship was ever anything other than strictly professional. From what I saw, it was never like Obi-Wan and Anakin, where they felt like brothers. Rex and Anakin were more like colleagues than anything else, but the respect that Rex felt towards Anakin was tremendous, and vice versa, same with Anakin. They rarely went past their roles of captain and general. They were both very good at their jobs, had similar views, and an excellent working relationship. But what's most important, they both knew they could depend on each other. Anakin felt secure that Rex would always have his back. Anakin was sometimes playful with Rex. When using the Force, he dropped Rex over a wall and then caught him. Rex also showed some traits that were just like Anakin. In fact, you can even say that he adapted his personality to Anakin's, taking on some of his daredevil attitude. As I said, they both had had a strong relationship and maybe even friendship, some might say. Not as strong as the one between Anakin and Obi-Wan, obviously, but stronger than most Jedi generals and their troops had with one another.